Hey, it is Thursday, February 26th. So, recent federal press briefings have put the number of ICE agents in Minnesota at, quote, under 1,000, which is unspecific, but far more than the estimated 500 that were here when Renee Good was shot by Border Patrol last month. However, the war in Minnesota has shifted to a far more deadly and less publicizable theater, our healthcare system, and specifically healthcare for the most vulnerable people in the state. So let's talk first about the legality of the executive branch withholding funds. It's illegal. Congress holds the power of the purse, and the announced Medicaid withholdings from the executive branch is not a legislated action. Just like federal agents denied both Renee Good and Alex Preddy medical care in the crucial moments after they shot them, the delays in payments as these actions are contested in the court will cost lives, and likely far more than two. Second, let's talk about the pretense under which these funds are illegally being held back: fraud. As reported by CBS News, data released by the Federal Administration, CMS, this year, the error rate for Medicaid payments over the most recently reported period is 2.1% for Minnesota, as compared to the national average of 6.1%. And that data is from a period prior to actions taken since then and since October, when Medicaid audits of 14 high-risk programs were announced. The reality is that while fraud exists here as it does everywhere, we have a track record of auditing for, finding, and then appropriately pressing charges against those who commit it. Third, as testified in front of the Minnesota State Health and Human Services Committee yesterday, Hennepin County Medical Center is in danger of shutting down due to a $50 million budget shortfall. This is in light of an estimated $100 million loss in uncompensated care and a $1.7 billion reduction in Medicaid revenue over 10 years. The course of action that the Hennepin County Commissioner is trying to take, according to the testimony from yesterday, is to repurpose funds from the ballpark sales tax, which is how taxpayers have been funding Target Field's construction debt from 2010 for the last 16 years. Hennepin County, i.e. taxpayer money, was on the budget for $350 million of the ballpark's initial construction and infrastructure budget. So more personally, I worked with two county medical facilities in California, Orange counties and Ventura counties. What I can tell you about these county facilities is that they are crucial pieces of a region's healthcare infrastructure, and especially for the lowest income earners or those who don't have medical insurance outside of federal programs. Financially, county systems run on an M&M or Medicaid and Medicare payer mix. Even in a normal operating environment, and that's one without massive federal budget cuts, such as what were imposed upon the entire nation with the big beautiful bill, or blatant and illegal federal retaliation, which is what's making the headlines for Minnesota this week, managing the finances for that sort of county medical facility is one of the hardest jobs in healthcare finance, and it typically doesn't pay all that well either. I also have friends here in Minneapolis who work in medical roles more on the ground who are seeing the very real impacts of this looming Medicaid shortfall. Everyone is worried about their jobs, but more so about the people who will not be cared for. And for what? To make the rich richer? To make sure that United Health Group has another fucking bumper crop year? So that we can to send a message of fear? This is just disgusting. And it's really worrying because a federal ICU nurse getting gunned down in the street in front of 3 or 4 different camera angles was at the very least as visible as it was completely outrageous. But the people that they're targeting and the people who will die because of the lack of health care from Hennepin County Medical Center over the next few years won't die on camera.